Can you feel it? That's the feeling of the weekend being upon us. So let's go ahead and do this. Been a super interesting week, hasn't it? We have been faced with some interesting stuff this weekend. Or this week, rather. If it's one thing I'm all about, kind of seeing where things go. And let me tell you, for some of us, this week didn't really go all that well, but, you know, in some ways it went well, in some ways it didn't. Win some, lose some, right? But it's not in losing. It's how you deal with it. That's the most important thing. We're at the weekend now. And now I'm getting kind of getting the feeling that this is our time to kind of relax, unwind a little bit. Maybe pump the brakes just a touch, you know. Maybe we'll get a little respite this weekend, who knows. So, for this reading, I am using Rider-Waite. Just plain old Rider-Waite. I don't know why, like, I said this on my little live Twitter just a while ago. I've never been much for Rider-Waite, mainly because I've seen it in horror movies and all those things. I've seen like actual tarot readers use this, and I thought, well, you know, it kind of seemed like a trend, I guess, and I wanted to buck that trend, and so I just really didn't use this particular deck all that much. But I'm gonna say this: for some reason, I did feel it called me several times, and I ignored it every time. I got variations of it. Radiant Rider-Waite, the little small Radiant Rider-Waite, the small Centennial edition Smith-Waite. Finally, I just broke down. I actually bought 2 of these decks. 2 of them. One I pack around with me all the time. It's that little kit in the box I've showed you. And then this one stays right there around where my altar is and that sort of thing. But I'm also using Spirit Animal, Viking Oracle, Runes of the Gods, and of course one of my personal favorites, Starseed Oracle. I like Starseed Oracle whether you get into that whole Starseed notion or not. It's beside the point. Point is, if you're a spiritual person, it has some messages for you. Messages that can benefit you. One of the things that I like to kind of point out when it comes to people who say, well, I don't know if I'm into that starseed thing, especially if you're into the realms of science. Neil deGrasse Tyson once said that we have to understand that at one point a star did explode and spill its guts, and we came from that. I like that. I like that idea. In some ways, we are extraterrestrial. Let's face it, none of us in soul form is native to this planet. Oh, sure, we've been here, you know, time and again. Had to kind of get that game over to start over and reset, didn't we? And I hope all of you who wear Moldavite are wearing yours. Let me tell you, I have been wearing Moldavite for probably about, I don't know, less than a week. Yeah, it's been less than a week. And let me tell you something. It feels like something kicked open something from inside and just started rearranging the furniture. It's intense. Thank goodness it's paired with a Herkimer Diamond, otherwise it would have been rough. I've already been a little squirrely. Thankfully, the squirrely factor is going down. I'm really feeling good about that. So, what do we need to know for this weekend? How can we make it awesome? Let's find out. So who are we this weekend? Ragnarok. The twilight of the gods. Let me tell you something, people. Some things we have to end. We have to end. One of the things we got to end, and I'm going to address the real pandemic in the room here. We got to end the state of fear. That state of fear is making us act and behave in the most irrational ways possible. And we've been in this state of fear and neurosis for how long now? Almost 2 years? Come on, people, that's too long to be scared. It's too long to be afraid. At some point you gotta look at life and say, you know what, I'm going to live my life again. If you really want to know what that looks like, check out that song by Mankind is Obsolete called Puppet. If you got Spotify, they're on there. So, who's our guide? Freya, goddess of love and war. Also a goddess very much into passion. And her chariot is pulled by 2 cats. As a matter of fact, I just did, by the time you're watching this, it'll be Friday morning. Right now, it's still Thursday night for me. But I just did a Spirit Cats pull, and I was using the same Rider-Waite for that too. So I was doing some like little free fun stuff on Twitter. And yeah. I'm going to tell you something about Freya. She's one of the Vanir gods. A Vanir goddess, if you will. She was not actually part of the hostage exchange between the Aesir and Vanir. She just kind of went. Her brother Freya, he was part of that exchange. Not Freya. But she also gets first pick of the battle dead. Right? And they go to her hall in Sessrumnir, in Folkvanger. So you know, the first pick of the battle dead, they don't go to Valhall in Asgard. They go to Folkvanger, to her hall in Sessrumnir. The halls came up yesterday. We've been doing that sacrifice. We've been doing without, you know. Here's the thing. You do have to still give back to yourself what you gave away. That is still important. For the spirit animal, none other than starfish spirit. We're open to those infinite possibilities. Let me tell you why that's important. Because quite frankly, when something ends, let's say that you finished a project and you have nothing else on your plate. That means you can tackle anything. Anything at all. It's up to you. You get to pick. So the twilight of one thing means the beginning of another. And right now in the prose edda, Ganglier just heard about Ragnarok and what that entails. And he's about to hear about how the world regenerates. Some things to think about. So, mind, body, spirit. We need to strive for strength of all 3. So, what's in our minds for this weekend? I may have just turned over all these. Yeah, I sure did. Let me just do this real quick. Because I held the deck upside down. I don't do reversals, y'all. And no, I shuffled them. I shuffled them properly, but I was just holding them upside down. See, this is what happens when you don't, like here. When you have this, you know which way the cards are turned. When you have this, sometimes you have no idea. So, just going to kind of turn them over, kind of get a little bit of a peek. There we go. And then, there we go. Do that. Okay. So, some of us are like this right now. We're feeling left out in the cold. We're feeling dejected. You know, we're thinking, we're thinking this is going to be hard, you know. But then we've got this Knight of Cups right here. You know, something about these knights, man. They're like teenagers, and there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. But this is something emotional. And right now, with this being in your mental state, that Knight of Cups, honestly, I think this is one that he's coming to your rescue. Because what's going on with this one, okay, let me put it this way. The Knight of Cups, he's not coming in all swift like, you know, boom, here I am to save you. He's very graceful, but he's not warlike. He's quiet. And this is what this is this is the imagination, which sometimes characterizes this card. So we're trying to now imagine what's coming next. But we're also exploring some new emotions, some things that we're kind of like, we're wondering about things, we're imagining things. I can also see this as a bit of catharsis. And if you need to do something cathartic this weekend, this card is definitely signaling you to do it. If you're feeling a little emotionally drained this weekend, now's the time to fill up emotionally. So, like, I love to tell you, do what lights you up, right? That's always going to be the advice. And I know right now that may be hard for some of you, but don't worry. Don't worry so much, okay? We still, right here in this set, we still have your Oracle card. We still have another Oracle card, which is your rune. We're going to see where that goes. But for right now in the body, we definitely have this Hierophant here. And this guy is all about dogma. And when you're looking at the physical, you're looking at going by the book, by that spiritual book, because he does represent spirit, right? So this to me looks like elaborate ritual, maybe. No, not maybe, definitely. We're looking at elaborate ritual because ritual it's discipline. And that's kind of what we're looking for in our lives. We're looking for that structure. You know, some of us, especially if you've lost a job recently, you're looking for that structure. You're looking for that, even if your job was a total pain in the ass, you know, still getting up and going to it provided something for you. There was something there. There was that structure. Now you're without it. You're seeking that. That's fine. We go to this Page of Pentacles here, and this is new. This is like, you have to explore the physical realm, the material, sort of with that beginner mindset. But this is also very good news. It's also sort of an opportunity with money. This is where being a little more this is practicality. So definitely be a little practical with this. And then Queen of Swords. Believe it or not, these two cards came up in a reading. Now the Queen of Swords, she is no nonsense, will cut through 9 layers of your bullshit. She doesn't deal with garbage. So right now, having some structure, you know, imposing your own structure physically. I don't care whether it's when you get up in the morning, instead of like lumbering over to the coffee pot, lumbering over to the tea kettle, maybe do some push-ups, maybe do some squats, you know, Could just be like 5 of each, maybe 10. Do a little yoga stretching too if you feel like doing that. Kind of find that spiritual practice. There is a way to practice your spirituality in physical movement. Let me tell you something, folks. When you stop lying to yourself, and that's what this Queen of Swords represents, when you stop lying to yourself, when you face yourself, you can then begin a process of disciplining yourself, and that will take you farther than you can imagine. So for the mind, yeah, we're feeling left out, we're feeling those emotions that we probably haven't felt in a long time, and we're feeling we need a bit of catharsis. I'm looking at it right here in the physical. Here's your catharsis right here, but you got to start being honest with yourself. Otherwise, it's not going to work. In your spiritual, we have this Two of Wands here, and this is sort of a very creative choice. You do have that fire energy to you. This is a little bit of that Aries energy, I think. And this represents actually looking out, seeing the world, and thinking, okay, I have options. And you still do. Moving on to none other than the Magician. This is where you alchemize all that you will put into practice this weekend. This is where you come out on top. That's gonna be you. It seems like right now everything's kind of pointing, when you open yourself up to that possibility, guess what? You find out just what you're capable of, and that's what the Magician shows you. Is you have no idea how strong you are until you're being called to be that. And at first you're like, there's no way I can do that, I can't do that. But hey, you're about to surprise yourself. And guess what? It's a tower moment. But what happens when the tower comes crumbling down? You still have the foundation. You can still rebuild. Yeah, this is a card of something catastrophic, but you still have a solid foundation there. And on top of that, you get to explore the design flaws of the first tower. What was it that was dimming your light? Because I could tell this was. That's where, right here with this Magician, you get to create a brand new one, and it will stand just as solid as before. So, going back to the mind for a minute, we're going to have a look at, here it is. We've really never seen this card come up before. The Golden Children. So you have that innocence, that tenderness, your inner child, right? It's time to play a little bit too, and explore some of your rare gifts. You never know, you might be able to monetize like a rare gift. If you've got just one of those little things where you can win any bar bet about any movie, anytime, hey, spend a little time doing some stuff like that. See if you can't bone up on that, whatever that rare gift is, that rare talent that you have. That's what you need to exploit. And guess what? It's completely okay if you feel like, you're home alone. You got like a little cardboard box right there. Before you throw it out, tear it up. Go ahead and cry if you have to. It's perfectly fine. It doesn't make you any less of a person. All it means is that was a lot of crap inside you had to let go of. You had to get it out of you. As a matter of fact, there's another thing I'm seeing in here. Now is a good time to write down your wishes, like whatever it is you desire the most. Take a little notepad or get just a piece of paper. Write it down. Whatever that wish and desire is, be very specific with it. Write it down over and over and over again. Fill up that paper front and back, and then when you're ready, tear it into small pieces, toss it in the trash. take it outside, burn it, wad it up, throw it in the garbage or the recycling, whatever it is you do, because that's the way you begin to manifest them. That is the way you actually visualize. That's what the magician is a master of, is visualization and manifestation. The magician knows how to alchemize all of his own elements into that core, but you have to believe that you can do it. And guess what? Those dreams can be as big as anything. But you have to understand that it might take baby steps to get there. That's all. Alright, so over here in the physical we have starbathing. This is a good one. Let me tell you why. Lay on the floor, lay on the ground. Close your eyes, breathe, and just imagine little stars raining down on you. Because this is going to be a means of light sourcing for you. If you do crystal grids, which, guess what, I do, now's a good time to, I do them all the time. I do it just to keep those stones communicating with each other. Sharing energies, if you will. Sometimes I'll take a little piece of opalite like this, clutch it in my hands, or when I'm doing my meditation, sometimes this will just sit in between my palms, just like this, and I breathe, and here's one of the things I do, and it sounds crazy. This is going to sound nutty as a fruitcake, but I'm about to share it anyway. It's going to sound nuttier than a payday bar, but you just close your eyes. You have your hands just like this, right here at your sternum, straight. You sit up straight, close your eyes, and you imagine that this thing is glowing in between your palms. As it glows, the light travels up your arms, to the shoulders, to the chest, and it spreads out to the rest of your body. You only need about maybe 10 minutes. And you can do it with anything. If you got a little quartz crystal, you can do the same thing. A little quartz point like that right there. That'll do it. Ooh, excuse me. If you're wearing moldavite, that'll do it too. Thank goodness mine's paired with a Herkimer diamond, otherwise this wouldn't be so gentle. Anyway, what about the spiritual? There you go. Life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. What was it that you came here to learn? You know what? Some of you are going to go to church this Sunday. Some of you are just going to sit at home. Grab that holy book of yours, crack it, instead of using it to beat someone over the head because you think they're in the wrong shit. Crack it open, read it, find that thing that can light you up. Find that one little passage somewhere and just meditate on it. I don't care if it's the Havamal, I don't care if it's the Bible, I don't care if it's Revelation X from the Church of the Subgenius. Find that little pearl of wisdom and take it, because it's needed. Finally, for the runes, we've got Isa. Here we go, reflection and meditation right here. Haven't I been telling you that this whole reading? Right? This is ice. This is meant to slow you down. You needed to, okay? Let me tell you something about spirit and nature. You may want something. both Spirit and Mother Nature will absolutely make sure it's right for you first. And if it's not, Spirit and Nature don't give a shit. Not one whimpering shit what you want. Spirit and Nature, God, whatever you want to call it, might have a better idea. Sometimes the best answer to any prayer is no. Sometimes. I got a little story for you, as a matter of fact. I was actually having lunch on Wednesday. That's why I was having lunch at a diner not too far from where my landlady's office was, and no kidding you, I looked at my crypto and my heart leapt for joy. Bitcoin was over its all-time high. XRP was climbing. I was happy. A little bit later that day, I checked it again. I was crushed. It all came down. It took this sharp little 3% decline. I was like, come on. You know what? I would love for my crypto to moon, but guess what? Right now, that has to do its thing. And right now, the universe, God, Odin, whatever, is saying, hey, not right now. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be super wealthy now. I would disagree, but I'd be willing to bet something better is coming along. So let's see what you got in the physical here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah. You reap what you sow, ladies and gentlemen. That's a universal concept. You will get your prosperity out of it. Okay? So we're looking at some really good news so far. And here you go. You might have to do some movement. It doesn't mean you gotta uproot and pack up and go. But maybe take a little road trip this weekend. Take a trip out into nature. Effect a little change in your life. You know, don't just go into the same old humdrum, well, I'm going to sit right here on my ass in front of the computer. I am not doing that this weekend. Sorry, not sorry. I am not sitting on my ass this weekend. As a matter of fact, as me and B Magic over at Fixed Air Moon discussed, I'm going to be taking my tarot deck and I'm going to be rolling out to nearby town on foot because it's within walking distance. I got a little spot picked out, and I'm just going to set up shop right there and do some readings for people. Maybe some donation based. I don't know. You know, I ain't going to ask much. You know, buy me a Coke, buy me a Gatorade, buy me lunch. Something like that. You know, buy me a couple items off the McDonald's dollar menu. Like I said, I don't need much, don't want much. I know that sounds really crazy coming from the variety of cards I got, but trust me, yeah, I'm very, very simple in my needs. A good burger, Coke, and fries is good enough for me sometimes. Ain't gotta be steak and lobster. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, the simplest synopsis I can give you of this is, I know you're facing uncertain some of you are facing uncertain times. Some of you are facing uncertain things. Don't worry. Okay? Worry does not do you anything. Fear profits a man nothing, especially if it stands for fuck everything and run. This is another one of those face everything and rise moments. You got burned to the ground, but there's something in it you need to learn. Learn that. Grasp it. Get that lesson. Hold on to it for dear life. Tear up a box. Do something cathartic. In fact, get out there and do something. Open yourself up to the world of possibility that exists. Have you ever thought, man, if I didn't have this stupid thing I had to do, or if I didn't have this thing holding me back, I would do anything in the world except that? Now, you can do anything except that. But you're going to have to slow down a little bit. You're going to have to get a little introspective here. You're going to have to reflect. You're going to have to meditate and figure it out. Always keep it moving. Because your success is on the other side of your fear. That's something to think about, ain't it? Alright, I'm going to pack this thing up and get it in the pipe and get it out there. I'm actually going to be posting this about midnight. That way you've got literally all weekend to view it. Guess what? If you're in the Haddonfield, New Jersey area, especially if you're around Kings Highway, I invite you to come see me. You can come hang out with me. You can get yourself a reading on the super cheap if you need it. And all I ask really is that you love each other, take care of each other and yourselves. Always give back to yourself what you gave away, right? So take care of yourselves and each other. Always do what lights you up. And never forget, you're not alone. Shine on.